Folks, thanks for coming on the line with us today. My name is John Dubas. I'm one of the Vice Presidents for Agent Success for Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour giving you an update on the market venue programs in which we participate and stress an opportunity that we have with Aetna and CVS stores throughout the country. A little bit of housekeeping to start. Today's presentation is being recorded and will be sent to all who expressed interest in today's webinar. So watch for that follow-up correspondence, and we'll be following up with you telephonically as well. I wanted to make certain that if you have any questions, just jot them into the questions drop-down box here on the webinar, and we'll make certain that a frequently asked questions answer sheet is provided to all who have expressed interest and will be receiving the follow-up from today's webinar. Wanted to do some things really briefly just to keep us all on the same page and give you a little bit of additional information about Premier Marketing. We are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity Marketing Program and have offices across the country. We provide insurance services for independent insurance agents, contracts available with different carriers on a wholesale basis that deliver a vested payment schedule and are available at the highest possible commission levels with recruiting contracts available to folks who qualify for those contracts. As I mentioned, we are now a 50-year-old organization. We're celebrating our history this month and throughout the remainder of the year, and it's a nice piece to come from a small family-owned agency in a small town to become one of the largest organizations across the country, with being one of the largest producers for United Healthcare, Anthem, and Meridian Care. We're also one of the largest producers for many of the other national players, as well as we are for many of the regional carriers that are offered in certain markets. This gives you a map of our platform partners and our organizations across the country, gives you an idea of what can happen with an organization the size of ours. And one of the things that we wanted to go through and speak to you about is why you would incorporate retail into your overall marketing plan, because we want to stress the fact that there's no one marketing system that is the be-all end-all for any particular agency or agent. And a lot of what we look to do is maximize the value of a market venue location so you get the most out of what you put into it and get you the best return on your investment of funds that go into any type of marketing support. But the most important piece is, how can we maximize the value you get for your time spent in a retail location? So we want to make it part of an overall comprehensive grassroots marketing campaign for you. There are a number of organizations that we work with across the country to provide retail options. We'll spend quite a bit of time today, and the bulk of our information will come on the Aetna retail program that is rolled out. And believe it or not, it's one of the few that is still available. And obviously, if you're on this call, you're interested in information about programs that can help you now and not necessarily things that are shut off from you. We'll give you a little bit of that information as well, because some of the carriers have closed future involvement for certain markets and in different locations, and we want to make certain that you're kept up to date as well. So in addition to Aetna, the Blue Cross Blue Shield programs, particularly in the HCSC contract, and that includes Texas, Oklahoma, Montana, Illinois, and New Mexico, they offer a retail opportunity as well. For those of you who have worked with United Healthcare, you're aware of the fact that they have a national campaign as well. And then, of course, there's the old reliable Walmart. And we'll give you some updates on the Walmart program. And then there is always the do-it-yourself grassroots campaign, and we'll give you some ideas on how you can make that effective as part of an overall marketing program as well. The Blue Cross Blue Shield program, a lot of the detail that we have here in Texas, it really required portfolio certification with all the Medicare products. They look to involve agents in 2 days and 2 shifts, so a total of 8 hours a shift. They were Walgreens locations. They are Walgreens locations, but the store selection program for that is complete. If that is something that is of interest to you, reach out to us and we will go back to some of the local management and see if they could make an exception. But keep in mind, that's what it would be, an exception. So we're not promising anything additional for Blue Cross Blue Shield, but we would always ask the question. When you look at the United Healthcare's program, they also require portfolio certification and filings through their systems that they have integrated in through the Optum ID program that they've laid out. It is a program that gave flexibility for days and hours, but they wanted a commitment of at least 15 hours a week in the locations, and their varied retail partners they have in their pharmacy program across the country. For the most part, that store selection is complete, but there are certain select markets that are still looking for help or still offering the opportunity as well in certain markets for certain partners. Most notably, on a call earlier this week, we discovered that there are opportunities with Walgreens through United Healthcare in the state of Washington. So if you are an agent that works that particular market and have interest in this program, we need to chat and we need to get in touch with the director for the state of Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, and find out some additional specifics that may fit into your overall marketing program for AEP. She did note, the director of this area for United, that this is an opportunity that may continue year-round. So if you work Seattle down to Spokane, we want to make certain that we get you some information and details on a plan to make that profitable activity for you going into AEP and possibly year-round. The Walmart program is pretty well known, but we'll give you a little bit of update on it anyway. Obviously, it deals with the Walmart stores across the country where they're looking for a product mix, where they want you to have preferably contracts with at least 3 of the Medicare carriers, the leading carriers in a particular market. Generally, that lays into United Healthcare, Aetna, and Humana in most parts of the country. It is a program that required an investment of the agent of $500, and in order to qualify for a refund of at least half that, it asks that you be certified by a particular date, and that date is coming up. It's the 10th of September, and that you schedule and attend all the events that are asked of you, and if you're late, it counts as a no-show, so it kind of kicks that refund to the curb. Obviously, you've got to be compliant with the comportment rules given to you by CMS. They want a minimum of 3 days in the stores, 20 hours per week, and that you achieve at least 90% reporting mark in order to qualify for a refund of part of the dollars that you're spending for that program. You notice in the first 2 campaigns, we did not note a cost for the program. That's because Blue Cross Blue Shield and United Healthcare don't charge for involvement in their market venue, their retail programs. Walmart has given also some additional requirements that by the 1st of October, you've met with the pharmacy store manager, the pharmacy manager, the store manager, and the champion of the campaign for that particular store. It runs mid-October-ish through Pearl Harbor Day, and you're going to be doing filings of the events and reports on a consistent basis through the systems that are provided through the program they use as an administrator with Direct Health. These stores are now, the bidding for those stores are all closed, and it is a process that if you wanted to become involved in Walmart, it's basically finding an agent that is already involved in the store and is willing to co-op part of the costs and the involvement of that store moving forward. They do ask for a certain requirement of time in the store, and sometimes having additional agents helps ease that requirement for agents, and that's one of the reasons why there is a slight possibility of involvement still in those stores. However, the focus that we wanted for today's presentation deals with the retail sales program offered through Aetna. And these are a focus on stores that are in their major Medicare Advantage markets. It is a program that is dictated by the local broker managers for each of the markets. So depending upon where your target market is, we would involve the different broker managers in that market to find out specifically what stores are available for you in that particular market, and then realize that it may not include every CVS in the country. Aetna has used a 10-factor segmentation process to help determine stores' potential, and they are basing participation in those stores on the outcome of the data that they have accumulated and analyzed for the program. They obviously want to make certain that your involvement is as successful for you as possible, and so they're doing a lot of the same things that you saw with certain of the Walmart stores, where they give you data on the stores, and we have an idea then as what might work best for you. In the great and sovereign state of Texas, what we're looking at are CVS stores. In other parts of the country, they also involve different retail partners with Aetna, and that includes Kroger, Giant Eagle, Wegmans, and some of the other stores in the other markets that are preferred partners with Aetna as well. They being Aetna, has launched a new agent portal for this program. So if you had been involved with a couple of Aetna's attempts in the past to participate in retail, it works differently. It's not a third-party vendor. It's now in-house, and the portal is designed and operated by Aetna. It will give you then the opportunity to go in and look at the different stores that are available, get the information that is pertinent to your decision from the agent managers, reserve the stores, do all the things you need to do in order to qualify for the opportunity, signing up, verifying your license and appointment, completing their program training for it, do a code of conduct attestation. It's a place where you go to as well to order the materials needed for participation, and in certain markets, you'll actually have access to Salesforce to help track and follow up on the leads generated by your program. The picture on this particular slide and on the previous ones is the kiosk that is being used in this program. They're going to ask you, obviously, to be certified and contracted for their portfolio with an emphasis on the Medicare activity. So that includes both Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans. Their activities are filed with a minimum of a 2-week head start on the program. The follow-up activities will also be filed through that website as well. You have the opportunity to choose the hours and days you wish to work in the kiosks. Different markets, however, may have different requirements. I know here in the state of Texas, they're looking for a minimum of 12 hours per week, as opposed to the 10 hours that is generally required of agents in other parts of the country. And as I mentioned, specific store information is available through the area market managers. Here in the Texas market, we do have store information available. So that's one of the things that we'd want to make certain that we reach out and speak with you about the opportunity specifically, so we can go through the available locations to make certain that your expectations are laid out for you going into it, and that we can match you with an opportunity that falls within your target market. This program does have a cost to it. They are, in the state of Texas, asking you to purchase the kiosk. Those are available for a $340 cost. They are, however, then your property. So the kiosk and the pull-up banner that you see then become yours to use on a marketing basis for a program we'd help you work up for a year-round activity with Aetna in your chosen market. As we mentioned, once again, the store oversight is dictated by the area managers, and we help with that detail for you. Additional media support is available through both a cooperative effort between store management and the local Aetna agent manager. They have some interesting and innovative marketing support that can come into play. And the latter part of our presentation today, we're going to detail some of the program support that we offer here at Premier that can make the difference as to whether or not the time spent in a retail location is successful for you. Additionally, there's the old DIY option that you have available. Do it yourself, because depending upon certain markets, there may not be available stores that are to your liking, or you may have a relationship with a center of influence in your community that would work well as a hub for your marketing efforts into the fall. This is a program then that you would basically identify a site that's a center of influence to act as the center of your marketing activity, and you use the centers of influence in the area, churches, nutrition sites, restaurants, providers, different points of location within your market that can make the crucial difference as to your success or not. That's something we would recommend strongly with any of the stores, because obviously, once again, having participation in a retail location doesn't necessarily mean it's going to drive your success. There are some other things that we can do to help that be profitable for you. And keep in mind, with any of the retail programs that are out there, your success is strongly influenced by the relationship that you have with store personnel, particularly the pharmacist or the pharmacy manager. Having a good relationship with them can actually help direct traffic to your location, because keep in mind the location of the kiosk has to be a certain distance away from where services are being rendered. So we want to make certain that we identify traffic patterns within the store. We want to make certain that we identify community activity that influences that store's sales activity. What do you mean by that, John? Well, is there an assisted living facility in the area that buses residents to that particular pharmacy at a particular day and time? That, in any of the programs that are available, is a crucial piece of information, so it can help you set your hours within that retail location to be most profitable. It does ask of you to be prepared for the opportunity. Know how low-income subsidy extra help programs work. Have the detail on the specifics for qualification and how a person goes about getting that extra assistance should they qualify. We do have another webinar that we do the trainings for LIS and MSP, and the link to it anyway, will be included as part of the follow-up to today's presentation. Obviously, you're going to want to be familiar with the workings of the programs. That includes the list of drugs that are available in the different programs and the tiers in which they're associated. How the heck are you going to do that when there may be hundreds of drugs in multiple programs and you're not going to know the difference on each and every one of them? That's where knowing the differences on how to operate Medicare.gov or our Medicare Center program to make certain that it evaluates programs based on your prospect or client's medication use, what they are prescribed, how often they have to take that particular medication, the dosage of that drug as well. So some different things that come into play. If you do create your own retail program, in a manner of speaking, if that store is part of an organization that has more than one location, be prepared to be pushed off to corporate, because there may be additional permissions that you have to obtain in order for it to be available to you. Then why would you even do this? Well, keep in mind, the smaller independents in many circumstances need an agent's help to explain the different assistance programs, speak to the different options that a person has for their drug coverage, and help maintain their current client base as well. So it's a great need for you, a great need for your partner locations, and a grand opportunity for you. So you're giving them an opportunity to free up their time to basically do what they should do, and that's take and fulfill the prescription needs of their clients. You are then a source of truth, a source of information for plans, for how that plan works with a particular pharmacy, details on those assistance or entitlement programs that I spoke of, the low-income subsidy and Medicare savings programs, and a source of truth for when a person can change coverages, because you're going to run into people, obviously, that may qualify for a special election period now, and it may be the time for them to get a change underway because their personal circumstances have changed. The medications they're prescribed now aren't the same as they were during open enrollment before. So a number of reasons why you can help folks now and free up the resources within that pharmacy to do their job and deliver upon the promises that you're making, not only to the location, but to the people that you're visiting with that frequent that particular location as well. So your conduct is going to create that relationship with the store personnel, and as a byproduct, the clients that frequent that store, and give you an opportunity to help them with medication plan choices and health plan choices where the drug benefit is incorporated into the basic program. There are some different things that we want to make certain that we can do to make this a successful venture for you, outside of obviously the information that you'll need for the different programs, how to basically get involved, what are the store locations. Once we've gone through and helped you determine that, hey, this store on 123 Main Street is actually a good opportunity for me, it's available, there are things we need to do to get it underway. How can you make certain that the time you spend there is profitable? Well, let's run through some different things. You're going to want to look at that as part of an overall comprehensive marketing program that makes you successful not only during AEP, but enables you to tweak that approach and be successful all year long, because you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. You're looking at different areas to tie in different campaigns. There are certain opportunities you have now to grow your client base through cold call campaigns, should you choose to do so. Obviously, you can do that with med subs. You can't cold call for prescription drug plans or MA programs legally, and we do not advise that in any circumstance. But as you grow your client base for Medicare supplements, which you can cold call for, that gives you the opportunity to do evaluations throughout the year for your client base. Obviously, too, selecting the store site that you're going to participate in gives you then the opportunity to become that subject matter expert, that owner of that particular market within a 3 to 5 mile radius of the location that you select. It then allows you to identify the dining sites for what I used to call blue hair heaven, where a predominantly senior crowd frequents, and gives you an opportunity then to use that location to publicize your services at your selected pharmacy or hub if you're doing a program on your own. It also enables you to visit different faith-based venues within that market to not only spread your gospel in a manner of speaking of helping people in a pharmacy location, but it also then gives you an opportunity to visit with that church's leadership to see if a seminar at that particular location during AEP is something you can move forward with. Keep in mind, there are people that will respond to outreach from their church that won't respond to any type of marketing program other than opportunities where they currently frequent different locations. And they don't always do that. Many of you may have been in retail locations where you say, boy, it's slow today. Well, they see you. They're just not visiting with you. So there are things we want to do to influence that. Then, of course, there are the people that actually provide the care in that area, doctors, dentists, other medical professionals. That can also be another marketing opportunity for you, but also another place to distribute your information to drive people to your secondary office in the pharmacy that you're working. And then, of course, there are a ton of other centers of influence like park and recreation sites, nutrition sites, different places that offer community activities that you can utilize to drive business to your store as well. And that's an important piece because the activity that you do in that market, you'll keep a journal of it and you'll go back to store and department management and let them know what you're doing to help draw business to their location as well. Many of the carriers that are out there as well have additional marketing support available to you. And this can go beyond just the Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plans, but obviously that would be the carrier of first resort that you're contracted with, you're certified with, that you're selling to appeal to them for additional support as well, if it's in more of a generic program where you're offering multiple carriers. But there's also the opportunity to get additional marketing support from Medicare supplement folks as well, and from your uplines based on some production too. There are a number of agents that are very proficient in utilizing social media to advertise their participation at different locations as well. Obviously, you got to be really careful about making certain that you stay compliant with the standards that are part of regular marketing programs. You're not going to want to use the word free. You're not going to use, these are the best, all the superlatives that will get you into compliance hell really quickly. But utilizing social media has been very effective for a number of agents to do that. And hey, by the way, we offer a program called Coverage Made Easy that can help with that social media effort as well. One of the things that we frequently forget to do is to ask for referrals, not only with the people that are working at the locations that we're taking part in, the pharmacists, the staff, those sorts of folks, but also the people that you speak to in the store that you enroll and the folks that you aren't able to help as well. Make them aware of the services that you offer and have them drive people to your location because, hey, man, I got flyers telling you this is the day I'm here, this is the time I'm here, come visit. Limit your windshield time. Be more effective in how you use the hours of the day that are available to you, and you'll see your business grow from that as well. And then, of course, there are a number of agents that will use direct mail programs to drive people to a particular location, but give them additional means of contacting you where, oh, yeah, I'm interested in a review, but I don't want to go to CVS. I'm interested in a review, but I'm not going to this particular church. Well, you can make, obviously, appointments with them in response to the direct mail. But if you're doing that, that is a great piece to use with your location's management to have them realize that you are actively marketing to drive business to their location. So the smiling dial, reach out and touch someone. Use that appropriately and compliantly. There are additional websites that will help you find those locations where seniors frequent. This particular website, wisebread.com, gives you hints on different restaurants that offer senior discounts. Well, that's a draw. You have an opportunity to locate different faith-based organizations in your target market through churchangel.com. You can actually pull it up by zip code. It's a great way for you to map out kind of your candy machine route that you put out by going and visiting them, dropping off flyers, visiting with them to see if there are marketing activities at that particular location where you could do a seminar or a camp for their congregation. Obviously, then, as we mentioned before, different provider partners in your target market, doctors who are contracted with a particular program, notables that aren't because they need your help too, the dentists and other caregivers, including home health care organizations that frequent the locations in your target market as well. When we look at those different centers of influence, well, foodpantries.com can help you find locations that help folks that need assistance in this area. There's the lowincomehousing.us website that will help you find low-income housing, once again, for distribution of your information, saying, hey, you guys have a bus that comes to the Walmart. You have a minivan that delivers people to CVS. I'm going to be there on Tuesday from 10 to 2. Or, oh, your regularly scheduled time is on Wednesday at 9 in the morning. By golly, my hours are going to be Wednesday at 9 in the morning to take advantage of that. Excuse me. This particular segment of our population also gives you the opportunity to work year-round because many of the folks that qualify for low-income housing also qualify for the extra help, the low-income subsidy on the medications, a great way for you to grow your client base in that fashion. Mobile home parks are also a great place to go and do community activities. Many of them will have organized activity within the park itself, or also it's a great place to distribute your information as to, hey, I'm down the road at this pharmacy this day and time, come see me for a review. Sometimes too, carriers, particularly during AEP, will have different lead sources available to you. One of the things that we're particularly excited about with our partners at Aetna is, particularly in the state of Texas, we feel this will be a viable way of getting in front of people on a consistent basis. So your particular contract with Aetna through Premier Marketing will give you an opportunity not only to access the CVS stores, possibly carrier-generated leads as well, a way to get reimbursement for your AHIP. It's also a way to, well, hey, we've got a contest going. That information will come to you as well on how to win an iPad. And doing things electronically is a much cleaner, neater, more efficient, more compliant way of actually following up on the leads that we have and enrolling them into a program. Utilizing social media, of course, is a big piece that is out there, as I mentioned, and then always remembering to ask, who else can I help? A great way, not only within individuals, but as you visit with centers of influence in the community. Okay, I'm at First Church of Christ on 123 Main Street. Okay, you don't have a senior program, but you know of another faith-based organization in the area that does. So always asking the question, not only for individuals, but for groups, is a great way of extending your marketing prowess. And coordinating that all through a planned marketing attack and utilizing some direct mail for support can make the difference as to whether or not your campaigns are successful for you. We do obviously want to remind you of the mail support that we offer, the mail co-op that is production-based through the carriers with whom we contract through our organization. And so we want to remind you that it's a great way to get direct mail out at a greatly reduced rate and take advantage of the opportunity that brings. We did a webinar recently on direct mail campaigns, so we'll put the link to that recording of that webinar in the follow-up to today's presentation as well. you actually email you the reminder of, hey, you qualified for help. So they want to make certain that you leverage that activity. These are the vendors that work within our direct mail program. And you obviously have a full portfolio of product to offer. And one of the things that I mentioned opening up is the fact that your work during AEP for Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug plans gives you a great deal of activity, but it also is kind of delayed gratification when it comes to your commission process, since the carriers withhold that compensation until after the first of the year. Don't blame the insurance carriers. That's a governmental regulation. So there are other programs that you can offer in conjunction with what you do that helps them fill those gaps, but also pays you much more quickly and allows you to establish additional revenue streams to help keep you successful in our chosen industry. So you've got that full portfolio of products that are available to you through Premier Marketing. Here in Texas, we recently added the Baylor Scott and White program. Are looking at another late edition. I'm not certain if we'll be able to get it done with time constraints, but you have a full portfolio of product across the board that can help you be very successful in your chosen market. We are holding webinars that will give you additional information about the benefits for Medicare Advantage plans and can work with you to see which of the standalone PDP programs might best augment the sales that you have for folks that aren't a good MA program participant, or perhaps they are one of your Medicare supplement clients and they need a review of the plans that help them with their drug costs. That Medicare supplement portfolio is very large with our organization. We recently rolled out a couple of new Medicare supplements to the market that have some very interesting compensation advantages for you and additional marketing support. The use of our Medicare supplement quote engine can really help you determine what you need in your portfolio and help you market through a complimentary Medicare supplement review with your prospects and clients. You can contract pretty easily through the electronic forms that are available with the carriers, or establish a bit of a piece that identifies who you are and are able to contract electronically much more quickly through the Assurance Pay program that we offer. And you, of course, then have to prepare yourself for the inevitable. Boy, everybody's talked about the different certifications that are out there. A number of folks have already completed a good portion of them. AHIP is a program that can help you with multiple carriers in that regard, but there are then additional trainings we would strongly recommend that you take advantage of. The different carrier product trainings, the trainings that are done for electronic enrollment. Many of the carriers require additional training for you to participate in different retail programs, and they offer additional guides for that as well. We have a ton of programs that can help make your marketing campaign much more successful by some simple planning and informational programs on low-income subsidy and Medicare savings plans. And then, of course, knowing how to work different quote engines, our Medicare supplement quote engine, our Medicare Made Easy program, and the Medicare.gov program that is a valuable resource for you in any type of marketing activity for the Medicare world moving forward. There are additional forms available from the government that can help you do campaigns to be successful in helping folks determine what would be perhaps the most appropriate drug coverage for them moving forward in English and Spanish. Some ways to track down that information to make certain that you can help them in a number of different fashions. This will help you also gather information that you can go to socialsecurity.gov and act as their advocate in a compliant fashion to help them qualify for low-income subsidy. So some different programs that are out there that are available to you if you become aware of the opportunities you have through the insurance carriers you contract with, through your contracting upline such as us, and then the support that's out there in the community to make certain that your sales opportunity is maximized during AEP across the board. Remember earlier we talked about tracking your activity as you market, sharing that with your partners in the community, churches, pharmacies, different providers. That will help establish you as the insurance professional of choice in your particular market, and helps you coordinate your activity as well to make certain that you stay on top of what you need to do. This then gives you opportunity to render evidence to make you different than every other Tom, Dick, and Harry and Josephine agent that is out there, and become part of a success story for you moving forward. You have, as I mentioned, some really cool electronic tools that are available for you. We speak to the opportunity you have with Aetna and CVS. Their Ascend program is very easy to use in conjunction with the contest that we're having for iPads for you. It's a great way to have the machinery in place to help you use the software that is available to you to become more efficient in how you complete the enrollment process. That now also has quote and enroll programs for that ancillary business, which, by the way, if you've checked out a scope of appointment form lately, hey, that's one of the options you can legally discuss those types of health programs during the same appointment as a Medicare Advantage program. It allows you to do cross-selling and multiple sales electronically, cleanly, and easily. It speeds up the process. And what's that speeded up process do for you? Well, one, you're taking care of your client much more efficiently, but you're also going to get paid quicker that way as well, because you get paid when the process is complete. So the big point right now is determine which of these pieces is a valuable portion of what you need to insert into your personal marketing plan. Make that decision and move forward. We need to chat with you if you are interested in additional retail marketing quickly. Obviously, the closer we get to AEP, the less time you have to plan, the less time you also have to file events, because those are informal sales events and you do file them through the carrier of choice. So we want to make certain that we become that resource that can help you do that very quickly. This is the contact information for our Texas office. The 800 number that is on there, the 1-800-365-8208, will enable you to reach any premier marketer that you've worked with. If you have that relationship, we strongly recommend that you reach out and utilize that resource. We want to make certain that the information you need is provided to you on a timely basis correctly, and we're willing to do whatever we can to make certain that we facilitate that process. These are some of the folks in our Norfolk office that coordinate activity across the country as well, and we want to be there to help you. We have additional support in the state of Texas, and we want to make certain that if you are one of those folks that have resided in the Six Flags over Texas, we're there to help you. That said, keep in mind the different opportunities that are there. Watch for the follow-up that will be sent to you as quickly as we can convert the recording to today's webinar, and watch for our calls to see how we can involve you with the different programs that can make a difference into your success moving forward. I want to thank you for the time you've invested with us today, and we wish you good selling. Talk to you soon.